I think teachers and administrators motivate a lot, but I think instilling at a young age self-motivation is really important, and I think schools that can foster that and keep it going, especially through middle school and high school, produce successful students.
Well, I feel like ultimately the teachers really want us to do well, but and you know they do. They try. They'll give up some of their free periods to help us. But honestly, if we're not there willing to put forth the effort and actually try to accomplish what they're helping us accomplish, ultimately it doesn't really fall back on them. So I feel like they're there, but if we fail, it's not really going to be on them, because it's only our lives that we're really, we're choosing to, not apply ourselves.
So I'm not saying I agree with the system completely, and the thing is so for my daughter, if she has a C, and if I pull up Power School, and she's done every assignment, and if she's worked hard, and if she just doesn't get the material, because she has comprehension issues, and if that's the best that she can get, I don't penalize her for that.
Oh boy, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, if you have something that you like, then you can work at it and get better at it. But if you're not born with a particular passion or interest in one area and you're not good at it, then the chances of you going after it to develop it are pretty slim.
We all have strengths in different areas, but I think it all has to do, I think we're all on a level playing field basically, and it all has to do with just working hard and knowing what your passions are and knowing what you really want to do, and then working on it.
There's always room for improvement. There's always things to continue working on. And that's one of the issues, even when you do really well on a paper or you do really well on something, you get an A on that. And then there's the concept that that's where education stops. That you have your A, you're doing it, that's what perceived as what you're doing very, very well. And you are doing well. But you shouldn't continue to research or look into a subject because you got that A.
I think that there's a built-in mechanism that humans have of getting frustrated when we don't know something, and I think that it has to do with how you respond to that frustration, for how you learn and for how well you learn.
Yeah.
I know somebody once told me that you can't learn anything unless you're frustrated first, and some people when they get frustrated just say, "Forget it, I don't want to do that anymore." And I think that it's the key is to fight through that frustration and to really work hard.
I think a lot of teachers aren't reacting to those changes, and it's, well, I did this way 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've observed some of those teachers. I have an adoptive daughter who has English as a second language, and I've seen teachers try to teach her the same way they would my biological son, and they learn differently, and sometimes the teachers don't get that there's different ways that kids learn, and so I think that's a lot of things that are changing too.
I think the more active we can get in the classroom, the better. I think if we can expand our learning beyond the classroom and apply it to everyday things, I think it'd be more applicable for some students and they'd be able to relate to it better, if you know what I'm saying. I think bringing that information that we learn in class into everyday things would be the best way for people to learn new subjects.
I always try to start with them, and what the motivation, what's the function behind the motivation, or the lack of, is there something else upsetting them? Is something else just, maybe sometimes it's just a thought in your head that you get stuck on, and we've always tried to help them to help themselves, whether it's homework, schoolwork, they have to find the way. I'm terrible at math, so to help them at math, I'm like, okay, what are your options? Can you look this up online? Can you go to the teacher earlier or later? Can you find a peer mentor who can help you? Because, something I know I can't do, but try to help them to find the resources.
I think sometimes grades can undercut kids, and you don't even have to have the altercation. It can just be dropping that essay on a kid's desk. I think even recently, thinking back, knowing that a student was trying very hard on an essay and that they'd spent more time probably than the average student had on that essay, yet it still didn't make the rubric grade. It didn't fit into that box that grades kind of provide for us. I think the essay grade really undercut that kid's effort, and that's very hard, because there's a numeric grade on things, and really I should be grading that individual's growth and progress. And I think that student's efforts probably were negated by the fact that the grade wasn't passing after all of that.
Or certain grouping of kids based on perceived ability by teachers. That's what I would say. You know, that it's perceived that they're not doing well, or that they don't have the potential. But the automatic issue is that with that is, as soon as you treat a student that way, it's perceived that you don't think they can do it.
Exactly.
Right? That they've already lost. That they're not valued in the system automatically. And so it's just.
I think what motivates me to do the best I possibly can and come in every day, get up day after day and do it, is seeing that effect you can have on even just one individual. If you can change one individual's perception or encourage them to move on, I think that you've done a world of difference. And I have the opportunity of helping many kids. It doesn't mean I'll reach them all, but the fact that I know that I can at least reach one is enough to keep going every day with it.